struggle. It's one of those things that we're live right now. We're live on YouTube and Facebook, but I always like to sign in a little bit because this is what happens. Like we'll be perfect, and then right around the time, it's like a snafu takes place. So I'm just going to take a second for Facebook to alert people that we're live so that they can connect with us. I'm also going to start sharing this out. So bear with me.
Absolutely. Technology is great.
I know.
Until it isn't.
Jeffco. There. Almost done.
And thank you again, Juliet. This is a lovely opportunity. So thank you.
Of course. I actually changed things up. Usually I try and, when I feature our school districts, I try and be fair and do like alphabetical or think like backwards alphabetical or something fun. And I was like, I'm just going to kind of throw it out a little bit different. So you were kicking off my nonprofit school foundations, and then I'll make sure that I weave in everybody else.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. So I think we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you that do start hopping on here with us, give me that thumbs up, comment so I know that you're on here and you're interested in the content that we have. But I'll go ahead and get it kicked off and started. I see Parker Brown. Good morning to you. And Melissa, thank you for hopping on here with us. I am Juliet Abdel, President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce. And if this is your first time watching this broadcast, make sure that you follow our page by hitting the follow button and that you hit the like button so you can start getting those notifications in a timely manner. We have these videos available to you at your fingertips at any point in time. So you can watch any of the ones that we've had from March until today. We've featured business experts all the way to our electeds. We kick off the week with our mayor, and then we feature business success stories along the way, in addition to our nonprofit corner. So today's broadcast is part of our nonprofit corner, and I'll parlay into introducing who our guest is and more information about them. But before I do so, you know that I like to give you some housekeeping. So make sure that you're connected with us on all of our social media platforms, on Twitter and Instagram at Westy Chamber, and of course on YouTube on Westminster Chamber of Commerce's social channel as well. Our website's available to you in the comment section of this webpage that lists for you the resource hub for COVID. But I also want you to get familiar with the comments portion of this broadcast. So as you see, I've already displayed Parker Brown for sharing his good morning message to Angela and I. That is a feature that's available to you at any point during this broadcast. If you've taken information that you find valuable, if you have questions on anything, we want to hear those questions and comments. We love the kudos and shout outs. So let us know who you are that's on here with us by giving us those notes and questions. We take those questions up at the end of the broadcast, so be sure that you're typing those in along the way. I still will always remember when you ask them, so we'll give the context of why you're asking the question that you are. So good morning to you, Wayne, and thank you for hopping on here with us. Today I have with us the Jeffco Schools Foundation, and their executive director, Angela, is going to be sharing a little bit about the foundation. Maybe you all are not aware of who they are and what they do. More importantly, she'll be talking about what that's looked like over the last several months, how they've adapted newer efforts, and into the future, how you can get involved in supporting them and ways that you can reach out to them. So we will go ahead and transition the conversation over to Angela. Again, type in your comments and questions along the way. We want this to be super engaging, and I'm excited because Angela is just as dedicated to what she does as I am in Chamber. And if you know that you live it, you breathe it, and you wear it. So Angela, take it away, and I'll mute myself.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Julia, and thank you everyone for joining. I do want to say as I start, we, the Jeffco Schools Foundation, are a proud member of the Westminster Chamber. Yay, and really excited to be engaging in this way and look forward to all kinds of future partnership opportunities. Just a little about me first. I did start with the Jeffco Schools Foundation in January. My kiddos go to Jeffco Schools. I'm very invested. I have a couple decades plus of experience in education and philanthropy and policy across our country, and I'm really excited to be working locally and to bring those connections and that insight and my real goal for partnership to our community. So I don't think we could do what we need to do for our schools without our corporate business and chamber partners. So again, just really excited to be a part of this. Thank you again, Juliet. With that, let me give you a little bit of information about the Jeffco Schools Foundation. So we are an independent 501c3 to our district, Jeffco Public Schools. Jeffco Public Schools has 84,000 students, 155 schools, 14,000 employees, and we are actually the largest employer for Jefferson County. Lots of wonderful history, lots of wonderful programming. As a mom, I love Jeffco for my students and the education that they receive and the opportunities that they have. The foundation itself, as an independent entity, has been a partner for 40 years to the district. So what we do is to really look at partnering in ways that allow for us to raise funding and to provide programming and support for those areas that are important to support that maybe the district isn't able to, and or are innovative, and or really ensure that we are meeting the needs flexibly of our students. And we're really well positioned to do that because we have such a long history and such a great community all across Jeffco. And we're able, again, to be flexible as a 501c3 in partnership with our district. So it's an exciting organization to work for. And as we move forward in time, I believe our partnerships will only grow. And if there's one thing that I would ask that you take away from all the stuff I'm going to say today, it would be this. Our schools are the anchors for our community, but our communities are the anchors for our schools. And I truly believe it takes a village. And so would like you to think about how you support your schools, how you partner in that way, and the really important role that you can play in that. So with that, let me give you just a little bit of context. I think we're all in the time of COVID-19, and we are responding in a variety of ways and really being called on to be agile and flexible as things continue to change and shift. I'm really proud of our community because just before COVID-19 really hit our community, and that to me means our school closures, we were able to, by request of our district, to start a COVID-19 fund. It was an emergency fund. It wasn't strategic. It happened within an hour of being requested, and our community stepped up. And we are so thankful. We've had collectively in that fund to date over $170,000. It's impacted directly through us nearly 4,000 students. We've continued to serve our students over the summer, but let me tell you a little bit about what it looked like in the school. In the school year. So when COVID actually hit, just before spring break for us, for everyone, we knew that there would be families that were immediately and adversely impacted, either laid off or had health issues that wouldn't allow really for them to leave the home. And through building wonderful relationships with our schools and their leadership, we were able to reach out to families even over spring break and provide immediate essentials in terms of food, gas cards, and to really just see families have a little bit of hope. And the stories from that and what we've heard are just very compelling. And we know we've done a lot because of our community, and we know there's so much more to do. One of the stories that really touches me is, there was a single dad, he had 4 kids, and his school person showed up. She brought gift cards and groceries, and he said, "Oh my gosh, someone cares about us? Someone cares about us?" And it was amazing and wonderful. And there are 1,000 stories like that. And so I love our community for offering that support because, as you all know as well, this happened very quickly, and governmental supports and other supports weren't in line to provide that immediate response. So without our community, without our company partners, we wouldn't have actually been able to directly support in a way that immediately impacted families. So thank you to all of our community. Thank you to all of you for all that you do. It matters. It really matters. So moving a little bit forward in time, I think with all of us, COVID-19 did catch us a little off guard. And so our immediate response was, okay, how do we support the families that are really impacted and they need food, they need gas, they need medication? But from there, when we realized we were moving into complete remote learning, and then found out we would be doing that for the remainder of the school year, although our district was really prepared with one-to-one devices, and they had tried and back-ordered hotspots to really ensure that the connectivity was there. We did realize that there was a gap, particularly for our low-income students, in in-home internet connectivity. So we had wonderful partnership from our partners at Lockheed Martin, who proactively reached out, and Comcast with their Internet Essentials program, which is an amazing community support, all came together, and we've been able to provide and still have resources to provide students, low-income students and their families, in-home internet connectivity. That is their access to learning. So that's another really big thing that we hadn't done before. And we pivoted and we responded, and we could only have done that, first of all, with our community support, but secondly, with our corporate support. So again, you can see how it really takes that village to support these evolving needs. We knew as we moved into the summer that COVID-19 wasn't going away, but our schools were closing. And so our access to our amazing leaders and community liaisons and ambassadors at those schools was going to be limited. And this is where I get really excited. We have partners who started to lead at the same time, not education partners. These are community partners. The Action Center actually stepped in and pulled together all of the food pantry partners, our district food and nutrition services, the Jeffco Schools Foundation, our county commissioners, our elected officials, our businesses, and convene them on a weekly basis to say, where are the needs? Where are the food insecurities? Where are the rental insecurities? How can we together start to talk about how we meet these needs? And it has been the most amazing collaboration. And from that, we actually were able to have our district lead in having 11 of our school sites across our district open over the summer to serve prepared, healthy meals to any Jeffco student, and honestly to any young person 18 or under. This is a big deal. This is over, I think we're approaching 200,000 individually prepared meals served to children over the summer. At the same time, we know that families who are needing that support need a variety of other supports. So our food pantry partners, the Action Center, Jeffco Eats, other partners, they stepped a little bit outside of their comfort zone and they said, we'll come to the school site, we'll be there. And so they provided so much in terms of fresh produce, USDA boxes made possible by the Food Bank of the Rockies for our families. So think beautiful boxes of dairy and meat and cheese. And families could come and pick up prepared healthy meals for their young family members. They could get additional food for a week or 2 weeks for their other family members. And then the Jeffco Schools Foundation, because of our community, is really honored to say that we were able to support thousands of students with King Super gift cards in the amount of about $55,000 over the summer. So that has been, I think, amazing and wonderful, and we celebrate that. And it couldn't have happened without our county commissioners providing support, our district taking the lead, and our community partners saying, yeah, let's pitch in. Let's do this together. So really, really exciting. But as we think forward, we know that those immediate response needs and that flexibility is really important. But as a foundation, we also know that our role is to be strategic and to partner in ways that see those gaps, fill those gaps educationally for our students, and also in those wraparound supports, and that we are not necessarily there to provide all the time direct immediate response, but we want to figure out how we systemically across our system are able to be more responsive and really engage the voices of our community members that we seek to serve. So that is where we are moving into the next school year. We will be doing that. We will continue to focus on essential needs for COVID as they evolve. So we'll continue to support in-home internet connectivity. We'll likely do another distribution date for our King Super gift cards in August. Our school, back to school at this point in time, we think, is pushed back to in-person September 8th and all online for 2 weeks starting on August 24th. So we really want to be able to be flexible and see what those essential needs are for our families. But we also want to listen to our families and try to be innovative and think creatively about the supports that are really needed over the long haul of this pandemic. And I think that's a very important role for us to play. So we can't do that without partners, and we invite voices to the table to help us and to be a part of this and to support our schools. With that, we are going through a strategic planning process, engaging our partners and those voices to do exactly what I just stated. We want to really hone in on our focus, and we want to do very impactful services that matter the most and are flexible over time. So from us over this next year, we know that we're going to be supporting 3 things. So we will support our Jeffco students in their future paths to their bright futures and their success. And Juliet, you'll love this. I'm going to give you guys an insider kind of before we release the press release. So we will be announcing in partnership with CU Boulder over $860,000 in scholarships to up to 150 Jeffco graduates attending CU Boulder, made possible through the Colorado Opportunity Scholarship Initiative. So we want to, and we will continue to partner to seek ways in which, even in high school and younger grades, we're supporting our Jeffco students with everything that they need to thrive. And we'll need our company partners, and we'll need our chambers, and we'll need everyone to help us provide opportunities. So think internships, apprenticeships, knowledge transfer, all of those things is what we'll be looking forward to, really in regard to supporting our future success of our graduates. So that's one big area. The second area, we'll continue to be very flexible. So as COVID-19 evolves, we will evolve in terms of our response. We will continue to steward our community dollars and investments, and we will leverage them to the highest impact possible. And then the third area, which I think is really important for this group as well, is that we are really investing in partnerships. We cannot do everything, and if we try to do everything, we're doing nothing. We can't serve everyone. If we try, we're not serving anyone. So we believe that partnership is the answer to really achieving greater success for our community, for our schools, for our talent pipeline, and for our economy. And so that's the third area that we really are going to invest in. And so you'll continue to hopefully hear more about us and our progress in that way. And we hope to engage you as well. So programmatically as well, we are still going to support programs. Programs are really important. So we have 3 programs that I want to highlight. We're supporting more than that, but over this year, you'll see continued support from us for our STEM labs, which exist in the Arvada articulation area. So think elementary, middle, and high school science, technology, engineering, and math experiences that are hands-on, that allow problem solving to happen and collaboration, and really prepare our students with the skills that our employers seek, that they need to be successful and thrive. And so we're really excited about our STEM work. We will continue to support our Learning Ally program. So that is a program across a variety of schools that supports struggling readers to actually achieve competency. And that has been a very popular program, and our students love it. And we're seeing huge gains and huge results in that regard. And finally, for our early learners, our Jeffco Summer of Early Literacy is something that we have supported and will continue to support. And that provides over the summer opportunities and wraparound supports for our readers, 3rd grade and under, who have been identified as struggling as readers, so that we hopefully get them to that benchmark where they should be by the beginning of the next school year. Wonderful programs we'll continue to support. And then the last thing I think, Juliet, that I will add is looking forward, we are moving into our 50th year of arts in Jeffco. So we have amazing artists, we have amazing art teachers, and we are so proud that we are able to continue to support, and we'll have our 50th year. We'll hopefully have in-person art shows. If not, we did it online this year and it was wonderful, but would love for you to just know about that. And if you want to engage in that or look at our student artwork and see all of the talent that we have in Jeffco, we invite you to that. And then you'll also see from us a number of opportunities to engage to support in ways that make sense to you, and to learn about all of the wonderful things we're trying to do, even in this uncertain time. So thank you so much for allowing me to share, Juliet, and thank you all for joining. And that's really what I have.
So I think the best comment that I've received is wow. So Angela has just shared with us, and we've had a lot of people that have been hopping on and off. I see John Gonzalez, Kuma Roberts, Donnie, several, those are partners from US Chamber nationally, to people that are in education, equity, and diversity in other states as well. We have with us State Representative Tracy Kraft-Tharp that's also tuned in. I see Paige from the Outdoor Labs Foundation. So we've got a lot of people that are tuned on here with us. If you're just now hopping on, I've tried my best to frantically summarize everything that Angela was sharing. And boy, did she touch on a lot. She has shared with us what the foundation did as soon as they started seeing COVID. And that was the immediate action fund that was created, all the way to adapting to the needs for those low-income families, providing them internet connectivity, supporting the schools as they leverage that relationship to identify who would need that support most, all the way to more of the online virtual experience with the arts efforts that they have going on. But I think the best part that you shared, Angela, and that was a trick question, which was to look into the future, what that looks like. I have asked that of every single person, and everyone will come back and they're like, well, we don't know, right? It's still unknown. And you have by far navigated that in the best way by saying, you know, here's what we will do into the future. Because I don't know what the future looks like, but regardless, here's what we're going to do. And that's to support the kids, to find the creative ways that we do that, to continue what's already working, but to ensure that they have the access to things they need. I thought you said that in the best way possible. Paige has commented on here with us and is sharing that you're doing an amazing job. She is a rock star. Now you know why I started this off by saying she is living it, breathing it, and loves what she's doing. Great work by the Jeffco Schools Foundation. 40 years, that's a significant amount of time in the community. But to see the changes that you've been able to implement and things you've been able to add, is Angela, you started, and I don't know if you shared this with everybody, you started fairly recently. I say fairly recently, but this year's going so fast that, you know, it might feel like a decade already that you've been with them, but you started fairly recently.
I did. I started in January of 2020, about 18 years ago.
Right? Oh my gosh, it does feel like we're about to hit that next century soon. So, and in that time, I mean, to be able to be agile, to adapt, and then to leverage those business partners as you have, I mean, that speaks volumes. I don't know, you know, what organization or entity of somebody who's already been there for a while that wouldn't have been able to do what you're doing. So kudos to you on that effort as well. Wayne has asked us a question, and this question comes to us related to going forward. Again, thinking of the future, you mentioned some work that you have already been doing that you'll continue through. You'll likely bring back where you have the distribution site that's there some point in August for the King Supers program that you've launched, and several other things. So along those lines, he's asking, you know, what do you see as your biggest challenge going forward?
So Wayne, thank you so much for that question. I think it's an important one. And honestly, as we all are wearing different hats, whether we're parents or foundation members or company executives or whatever we may be, I think we know that there are challenges on so many fronts in our lives. And so I'm going to answer this from, I think, two hats. I will say, as a parent of 3 elementary level students in Jeffco, you know, we love our schools, and we want to see our children have the experience that our schools offer. And I think the biggest challenge there is that we don't know. We don't know if we'll be able to be, you know, really in person, or what that means. We trust that the district is doing their best in leadership, but at the same time, I think the biggest challenge is going to be, from a parent and foundation perspective, pivoting to meet needs as they evolve. So if school closures happen over time, if families don't have access to lunches or breakfasts at the schools, how do we make sure that they're not missing out on essential needs? How do we make sure that we're best positioned to provide resources, and that we know and are able to hear from our community those needs and move quickly. So I would say from a parent perspective, it's just the uncertainty. We can't plan exactly the supports that are needed in 4 months or in 2 months. So we have to just be really agile and count on our partners to support us in that. I would say from a foundation perspective, one of the biggest challenges is probably that we're moving into a restricted fundraising environment just based on the economy and where we are. And we really want to ensure that we're able to continue the amazing programs that we already support, but also to be able to still look forward and to plan and to continue to support and position our district as a leader in public education. And that's a difficult place to be and try to accomplish those objectives at this time. But I'm very hopeful because we have an amazing community. So I think the answer to those challenges, both of them and all, it basically lives in the ability of our community and the willingness of our community to come together with grace, with patience, understanding that even though we don't have the answers, we probably, if we listen to each other, will do better things together, and just knowing that no one knows. And so it's a great question. I hope that answered it.
Unmute myself. I thought that was great, and thank you for sharing your personal connection to the school district, because it really does show people that you're not helping from afar. You are experiencing what they are as well. You're going through this together with them, and it shares in that sentiment that together we're moving from things. And you touched on one point that I was actually going to ask you, and that was, as a foundation, you often will have your gala or your another breakfast event that generally takes place, and this helps with a lot of the programs and things that you're able to provide to the school district throughout the year. How has that shaped this year? I mean, have you been able to postpone those programs and events? Have they moved virtually? What does your programming effort where people can directly support you look like?
So everyone's going to think that you and I planned this. we didn't even talk about it before. Great question. So we are, again, having to be responsive to the environment we're in. We are looking, you'll see from us, please sign up for our newsletter and information, but we're going to have a variety, a number of weeks of events that lead up to an online event. So we want to have individual opportunities for our champions to have their community raise resources based on what they've committed. So imagine that someone is going to commit to run a 5K, and who's going to support them in doing that? That's an activity that you don't have to do in person. Imagine that there is a wonderful partner who has offered to host a very small dinner in their home, and we can pop in and share about Jeffco Schools Foundation. So we're going to be releasing in the next week or so a variety of opportunities. One, to be a champion and to engage and to share your stories. Two, to support and be engaged in our online auction, which will run for about a week. And three, to join us later in September for our event where we'll come together online. We'll celebrate all of the things people have done kind of independently, but together. And we'll give prizes. And that'll be just our time to actually share our strategic plan moving forward and to celebrate our community. So all of that information will be sent out shortly. And so if you're not on our list, please sign up.
That would seem like it's completely planned, but it wasn't, and that was great. So we are on your list. I'm going to make sure as that information comes out that we're also posting it on our end, on our website, on our COVID resources and things like that, so people can find ways that they can engage with the foundation. Is there a website that we can direct them to, a phone number if they wanted to reach out to you, or a general box that you would want them to send messages?
Yeah, so we're a wonderfully small organization. You can reach out to me directly. So Angela Baber, feel free. We are not physically in our office yet. So again, my cell phone number is 720-272-0285. If I don't answer, I will get back to you. And my email address is angela.baber@jeffco.k12.co.us, and our website is www.jeffcoschoolsfoundation.org.
Thank you. And thank you for humoring me by going a little bit slower so I can make sure that I spell this right and get it out there to
That
everybody.
part we did plan.
We did.
That part we did.
So for those of you interested in outreaching to Angela, that is her email address. I've included it into the comment section along with her phone number that you can reach her at. I will also pull up the webpage for you all here in a second with the link so you can see that. That's included in our comment section. At any point, you can find a lot of the information that she shared on there. Stay in the know of what they're doing and how you can help them best, especially as the school district is planning to reopen and get back started. We're at the top of the 30-minute mark. Believe it or not, it's gone by in a blink of an eye. This was a lot of great information that you were able to share with us, Angela. For those of you that are tuning in right now, thank you for spending your morning with us live and kind of stopping what you were doing to absorb some of this information. Hopefully, if you have kids that are in the school district, you know that they're serviced by the foundation as well. Or if you have friends and family that might have kids of those age range or have benefited from any of these services, now you know who was there to help and support. That being said, please make sure that you share this with anybody that you think would find relevant and timely. Hello, TCK. I see you hopping on a little bit later as well. And if you end up watching this on replay, give us the hashtag replay so we know that you have hopped on, enjoyed this content and the broadcast that's available. If you think of a question or comment, or you yourself are needing some support from the district, you have kids that are going through it or may not have received something or recipient of it, DM us, give us a call, give Angela a call, let us know so we can get you the right people and the right support that you need. I will round out the hour by letting you, or the 30-minute mark, by letting you know that we'll be back here again, surprise, tomorrow at 11 a.m. for our next live broadcast, and we'll completely come here subsequently. I won't give you a code today. So as you know, if you've been paying attention with me since Monday, I've started a phrase, and the phrase is getting assembled by secret words that I'm giving you in these videos. So make sure you go back to the very first video to find a phrase, the start of the phrase, and then piece it together so that way you can potentially have a prize. So today there won't be a phrase, but tune in for us for the next word for the full phrase at our next broadcast. I think I worded that right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Angela, for spending some time with us as well. Have a terrific morning.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.